Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going through a bit of a review of how my triathlon went. Now I know this is probably coming a little bit delayed. I had a lot going on. After the triathlon, getting ready to go on holiday, which I'm now back from. I got back yesterday. My bag is still not unpacked. It is still needing to be done. But yeah, I was really busy with work just before I went on holiday, so I didn't really have time to sort of go through how the triathlon went and what my plans are next. I'm going to break down the timings that I set myself that I wanted to get when I was going to do it, and then I will give you the times that I actually got and what I'm actually planning on doing next. So I did actually want to vlog on the day and try and make a vlog out of the actual day, but there was a lot going on during the morning and I had a lot to concentrate on. There were certain rules and regulations around what you could take around the course with you, and in between the transitions I had to sort of keep my head switched on, because if, for instance, I touched my bike before I'd even had my helmet on, I would have got disqualified. If I'd taken my helmet off or unclipped it before I'd re-racked my bike, I would have also been disqualified. There was loads of rules, but getting straight into it. As a recap, it was a 500 metre swim that was in an outdoor pool, so that was 16 lengths. It was something like a 30.5 metre pool instead of a standard 25. It was a brine pool, outdoor heated. I will get into all of that in a sec. Then it was a 21 kilometre bike and then a 5k run, which was 4 laps around the field. The times that I originally set for myself, so for the swim I aimed for 10 minutes. I ended up coming in at 10:36. Now with this, I didn't realise that to have an ankle tag on, and that was about 10 metres outside the pool. So once I'd finished my swim, I slowly came up the stairs and then walked off the pool. So I was probably around 10 minutes, but the actual official chip time is 10:36. So I know for next time I just need to hurry up and get out the pool and get through the thing. As well, like I said, it was a brine pool, which basically is just salt water, which was minging. But it was absolute chaos through the swimming pool. There was that many people in there, so it was split into 4 lanes, so you had to do 4 lengths in each lane. So as you were starting, there was someone coming back to then go back up for their second lot of lengths, which just wasn't ideal. I got into a really good rhythm on the first length and I found myself right behind some fella very, very quickly. So that meant once I got to the other end, I pushed off pretty hard and then lost my rhythm getting past the guy, basically sprinting past him. And that sort of ruined my breathing and everything like that. So probably next time, just be a little bit more patient and wait till he's sort of moved out of the way, or wait for another length where he's just going to let me past. And then, because there was that many people in the pool, every now and again when I'd take a breath, I would just take in a massive mouthful of salt water. It was just minging. So about, I think it was about 3/4 in, I felt pretty sick because I'd just taken in loads of mouthfuls of salty water. So every now and again I had to just stop to actually get a decent breath in by doing breaststroke. And also I got a bit of a tension headache. I think it was just, I must have, as I was coming like to the side, I've just like tweaked something in my neck, so that didn't help anything. So I had a pretty bad headache, which I never actually get. Other than that, I was reasonably happy with the swim. My swimming's actually improved a lot more since the triathlon, because I've been watching more YouTube videos, practicing my technique, and being more efficient with it, because I use my legs too much in the swim, because obviously then you've got to go into the bike and then the run. So yeah, it's about being more efficient, but I was reasonably happy with 10:36. Like I say, it took too long getting out the pool. Then my transition was very slow. I told myself that I was going to sort of take my time on the transitions, just so I didn't mess up anything, and I didn't forget anything. That being said, it was a 5-minute 13-second transition. Everyone else seemed to do it in around 2 to 3 minutes. So something that I definitely need to improve on next time. I didn't realise it actually took that long. I didn't think it was that long, but yeah, it was. Then onto the bike, probably definitely my strongest part of the triathlon. I didn't want to push too much just because I didn't really know the route, didn't know how hilly it was going to be, and then obviously I had the 5k after that. I overtook, well actually even on the swim, I overtook more people than I was overtaken by. The same again. Well, I didn't get overtaken by anyone on the bike. I went past, from memory, I think it was 13 or 14 people. So I actually aimed for a time of 40 minutes on the bike, and I came in at 39:56. Again, there was a little bit of confusion towards the end of that one. I didn't know where to stop to get off the bike, so that, well, it wouldn't have been a lot. I probably would have added an extra 10 seconds on or something like that. But yeah, definitely my strongest one. However, I was going down a road at one point and I just hit like a little divot in the road, and somehow it's jammed my leg and gave me cramp in my calf, which I was nowhere near tired enough to get cramp. So it was a bit of an annoying one because it just sat there for a while. Pushed through it though, got rid of it, but there was like a constant ache there. But yeah, I was pretty happy with the bike. Now knowing the course, I've already entered for next year, so I'm gonna be able to push a lot harder. There was a few hills, not too much, but I was actually quite lonely for a lot of it. So every time I was pushing, I was just waiting to see that next rider in front of me so that I could go catch them. Essentially, that was my aim. Every time I found someone, I was like, I'm gonna sort of chase them down. So yeah, I was happy with that. 39:56, beat my time that I was aiming for. On that one, my transition was a bit quicker, 2:14, so I was pretty happy with that. Into the run, 5k run, I was aiming for a 25-minute, but like I say, I'd got that cramp and I didn't want to push too early on the run because I didn't want it to come back. Even though, like I say, I wasn't overly tired to be getting cramp at that stage. I just sort of ran the first probably 2 laps a little bit slower than what I was aiming for. So obviously I was aiming for a 5-minute kilometre. I was running at about a 5:10-ish. And then the second 2, it sort of eased up and I pushed a lot harder. I came in at 25:23. So slightly outside of what I was aiming for, but all in all, as a first triathlon, I'll take it. Yeah, I was pretty happy. I got it done. That was the main thing. I'd set those aims and I was reasonably close to them. With a few little tweaks, I would have smashed those, the swim and the run. So I know for next year, well, I've got a whole year. I'm going to keep those same aims, maybe tweak the bike one a little bit. I want to probably push a little harder, probably aim for maybe 38 minutes. I mean, it sounds like a lot, 2 minutes to take off, but I think it's definitely doable with a year's training. And the run, I could easily smash the run. Probably aim for a 24-minute run next year, but I'm aiming to just clear that solid 10-minute swim. Swim is probably the hardest one for, I imagine, most triathletes, to be quite honest. Running is sort of a natural thing that people do. Same with riding a bike, but swimming is a very much a full body exercise that not a lot of people are all that good at. So that brought me in with a time of 1:23:22, which with just getting faster at the transitions, I could bring that below 1:20, which would have actually put me at 65th place. So just by improving my transitions, I could gain 26 places. But yeah, like I say, I already, like, as soon as it came out, I got an offer to do it next year and I've signed up already. However, that is obviously not going to be the next thing that I'm doing. I have signed up for a half marathon on the 20th of November. Originally when I signed up, I was giving myself another 8 weeks to train for the half marathon. Now, because I was knackered after doing Tough Mudder and then the triathlon back-to-back weekends, that week after trying to train was just not really happening for me. I was just shattered. And then, like I say, the week after that, I had a lot going on at work, so most times I didn't even get to the gym. I was finishing work at 7 o'clock and just absolutely shattered, and I had a few things to do outside of work. So then I went on holiday for 10 days. I was aiming to do some runs whilst I was away, but we ended up literally walking everywhere that we went. We were hitting 20,000 steps a day quite comfortably. I've been to Rome and to Sorrento and around that sort of area. So yeah, the thought of actually adding more steps on that by running was really not a good idea, especially with the late nights and early mornings that we were doing. We literally saw everything in Rome. So yeah, I've entered a half marathon. I've never ran that distance in my life, or even close to it. Well, I guess the closest to it is tough mudder, but then you're stopping and starting at obstacles all the time. That was 16k or 15k. So yeah, I've got 5 weeks of training and then a taper week, so I've got 6 weeks to train for a half marathon, which is going to be tough, but it's definitely doable. I can do it. So stay tuned on my Instagram and see how I get on with the training, because it's definitely something very different to what I'm used to, but it's a challenge that I'm setting myself, and I'm going to go out and get it done. I've also got an aim for the half marathon, what time I want, so I will do a little review on that one as and when it happens. I'm going to potentially take my GoPro around on that one. It should be a bit of an easier one because I'm just literally running around a track. I hope you have enjoyed this one, a little insight into how my triathlon went. There's definitely going to be some more other things in the works. I just need to see how and when and what I want to do. But yeah, if you enjoyed this one, drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.